The nighttime secret to making money while you sleep. First of all, leave your like and subscribe to the channel, because what you're about to hear today can literally change the way you live your nights and the results you reap during the day. Now take a deep breath and think with me. What if I told you that the most profitable moment of your life happens while you're closed? It seems absurd, right? But the paradox is precisely this. Most people believe that wealth comes from daytime effort, while millionaires, the real ones, plan their fortunes while they sleep. Napoleon Hill claimed that the mind never stops working, not even for a second. And the Bible confirms in Proverbs 23:7, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." This means that your last thought before sleep could be the first brick of your future, or the weight that keeps you stuck in the same place. The secret you're about to discover today is so powerful, it almost seems unfair. While some people sleep worrying, others sleep thriving. And the difference between them isn't talent or luck. It's that feeds the mind before turning off the light. In the next few scenes, I'll show you how to transform your sleep into a true wealth laboratory, reprogram your subconscious to work for you, and wake up with ideas, opportunities, and peace. But be careful. This video isn't about magic. It's about mental law, practical faith, and emotional discipline. So adjust the sound, get comfortable, and come with me. Because today, you're going to discover nightly ritual that Napoleon Hill revealed, and that millionaires quietly practice every night to make their money work while they rest. Why sleeping may be your best wealth strategy. He discovers, almost by accident, that the most valuable moment of the day isn't the meeting, it's the pillow. Sounds crazy? Not really. When the conscious mind slows down, the subconscious switches on factory mode, connecting ideas it didn't even know it had. That's when millionaire mentality finds the fertile ground. Less noise, more direction. Whoever understands this transforms the night ritual in silent engine of prosperity. Napoleon Hill explains that his mind works like a 24/7 studio. During the day, he records. At night, he edits and masters. If he goes to bed without a score, he wakes up to noise. If he goes to bed with intention, he wakes up to a winning soundtrack. A quote from Autosuggestion Before Bed, "My mind works for me," is worth more than 30 open tabs. This is the point at which Napoleon Hill would press rec and say, "Feed the right machine." To test, no abstract theory, 3 simple steps. First, write down a micro goal on one line, clear and measurable. Then, 90 seconds of creative visualization experiencing the completed scene. Finally, a short, low-voice affirmation anchored in abundance and purpose. He doesn't need to become a monk, he just needs consistency. And in the next section, the wise man shows how to choose the right goal, the one that actually pays the bills. Napoleon Hill always said, "What keeps you awake at night is exactly what you need to turn into a goal." It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Most people try to program their minds to abundance, dreaming about getting rich, and forgetting to define what that means in practice. Napoleon Hill called this definite desire. It's not just thinking about money, it's visualizing the purpose behind it. Security, freedom, time with family. He learned that a true goal has an address and a zip code. It's not, "I want to prosper." It's, "I want to generate $20,000 per month by helping people with my creative work." That's millionaire mentality applied. When the subconscious receives vague orders, it gets lost. But when it receives precise instructions, it works like a GPS. Those who sleep with direction wake up with opportunities, while those who sleep with doubts wake up late. A good way to test whether a goal is realistic is to ask yourself, is this goal pulling me or pushing me? If it's pushing you with obligation, it's not the right one. But if it's pushing you with enthusiasm, you've found the fuel. Before bed, Choose only one goal at a time. The brain hates congestion. Tomorrow, Napoleon Hill reveals how to transform this goal into a vivid image in your mind, until it seems more real than the pillow itself. He used to say, "If you don't see it, you don't believe it." Law of attraction. It only works when the mind has something concrete to draw upon. Visualizing isn't pretending. It's rehearsing the future until it seems inevitable. When a person closes their eyes and sees details, the colors, the sounds, the smell of success, they activate the same brain circuitry as someone who actually experiences it. It's mental science, not magic. Napoleon Hill, he called it theater of the mind. He believed that each image is a seed sown in the fertile soil of the subconscious, and the more emotion a person puts into that image, the faster it germinates. Therefore, he advises, don't visualize money flying by. Visualize the impact it brings. The house paid off, the trip with the kids, the debt-free account. This creates a real vibration of abundance. The trick is to turn someday into this is how it will be. Before bed, lie on your side, take a deep breath, and create a mental picture of your victory. Your brain loves stories and believes the ones you repeat with emotion. Make it a night ritual, the cinema of prosperity. And when this practice becomes automatic, Napoleon Hill teaches the next step, transforming emotion into a command word, autosuggestion, that reprograms destiny. What you repeat, you become. It's simple and scary at the same time. Autosuggestion. It's like an invisible code that reprograms the brain to accept new truths. While most people repeat, "I can't do it," millionaires repeat, "I'm already on my way." It's this subtle difference that changes the game. And as I taught Napoleon Hill, it is impossible to prosper with words of defeat on the tip of your tongue. Words act as commands to the subconscious. When spoken with faith, emotion, and frequency, they shape automatic behaviors. That's why Napoleon Hill suggests short, affirmative phrases, such as, "I attract abundance easily," or "My mind works for me while I sleep." Repeating this isn't superstition, it's strategy. Each word is a seed planted in the invisible garden of prosperity. The trick is to connect emotion to repetition. Without emotion, it's just noise. With emotion, it becomes vibration. That's why, before bed, he suggests, speak softly with gratitude and conviction, feeling what you say. The brain believes those who speak from the heart. It's at this moment that night, ritual begins to operate silently. And in the next step, it will be revealed how to turn these words into action. Because faith without action is just a nice theory. Napoleon Hill always remembers, the universe does not pay inactive dreamers. Faith is the spark, but action is the fuel. While many declare abundance and expect miracles, the truly prosperous get up and act. The law of attraction. It does not replace effort, it enhances it. Napoleon Hill, he said, that thought is the starting point, but persistence is the engine that keeps the machine running. Faith is the night rehearsal. Action, the morning show. Whoever learns night ritual knows that waking is the moment of harvest. The ideas, insights, and inspirations that arise during sleep are no coincidence. They are subconscious responses to what was planted before sleep. That's why he teaches, keep a notebook by your bed. What comes to mind upon waking can be worth more than an MBA. Waking up and taking action is the true test of millionaire mentality. It doesn't matter how small the step, as long as it's in the right direction. What separates those who thrive from those who merely wish is the ability to move even without guarantees. The miracle is not in going to sleep dreaming, but in waking up doing. There is one final secret, the power to transform routine into destiny. Napoleon Hill states that, routine is the map of your future, even when it feels like mere repetition. Most people view the day as an obligation, but the wise treat it as a ritual. Napoleon Hill ons said that habits form character, and character determines destiny. Therefore, every small gesture, every repeated thought, is an energetic signature in the contract of prosperity. Nothing is neutral, everything constructs. He often explains that the difference between those who succeed and those who procrastinate lies in daily micro-decisions, getting up on the first try of your alarm, being grateful before complaining, reviewing goals instead of scrolling through your feed. These are invisible but cumulative details. Millionaire mentality is born in today's discipline, not tomorrow's dream. Daily ritual is the cement that supports the castle of great achievements. And to reinforce this pattern, Napoleon Hill teaches a simple method. 3 daily checkpoints. 1 in the morning upon waking, visualize the perfect day. Another in the afternoon, correct course. And the last at night, reflect and plant new ideas. Thus, the mind works in a continuous circuit of autosuggestion and abundance. And in the next teaching, he promises to reveal how to protect this energy from saboteurs and distractions that drain invisible wealth. It is not the external enemy that steals from you, it is the internal noise. Millionaire mentality drowns in notifications, endless feeds, and empty conversations. The problem is that every distraction costs focus, and focus is mental capital. Napoleon Hill, he said that concentration is the channel through which wealth flows, and those who disperse energy impoverish the spirit before the wallet. For Napoleon Hill, protecting the mind is like looking after an invisible safe. He recommends practicing a noise fast. 1 hour a day without internet, without TV, just silence. During this time, he suggests listening to audio autosuggestion or read something that feeds the law of attraction and faith. The result is almost immediate: clarity. The subconscious, previously buried in digital garbage, once again breathes abundance. Another practical tip is to choose your company wisely. Negative people are like energy leaks. You can't see them, but you can feel their depletion. Walk with those who talk about the future, not gossip. This way, your mind stays shielded and vibrating high. And when the environment begins to conspire in your favor, the next stage is to multiply that energy into tangible prosperity. Napoleon Hill explains that prosperity. It's not about accumulating things, it's about multiplying energy. Money is just the most visible form of an invisible vibration. When someone awakens with purpose, speaks with enthusiasm, and acts with gratitude, they are literally emitting frequencies of abundance. Napoleon Hill said that every fortune begins with a state of mind, and it is this vibration that the universe returns, with compound interest. He likes to use a simple metaphor. Think of yourself as a power plant. If you waste it on fear, guilt, and comparison, you turn off the lights. But if you feed your mind with faith, gratitude, and vision, you illuminate the entire path. So create a prosperity circuit. Pray, act, and celebrate. The more positive energy circulates, the more opportunities appear, because the universe loves systems that flow. The secret is to maintain this constant flow. Avoid hoarding the blessing. Share it. Helping someone, donating time, or sharing knowledge strengthens the field of knowledge. Millionaire mentality. The more you give, the more space you create to receive. Wealth that sits idle rots. Wealth that circulates flourishes. And while I prepare the final lesson, how to align purpose and wealth to create a legacy. Money without purpose is like a ship without a compass. It may move, but it never arrives. The true millionaire mentality unites result and reason, profit and legacy. Napoleon Hill, he once stated that success without meaning is failure in disguise. Prosperity is finding a reason so great that money becomes a consequence. When the purpose is clear, fatigue fades. He teaches that purpose is the axis of law of attraction. It's the vibration that guides your decisions and filters out what no longer makes sense. People who work just for money end up trapped in scarcity. Those who serve on a mission enter the flow of abundance. Your turning point will come when you stop asking, "How much does this pay?" and start asking, "How much impact does this have?" The financial return will come as an echo, and that's where he reveals the secret of peaceful millionaires, aligning spirituality, contribution, and prosperity. It's not about choosing between serving God or being prosperous. It's about understanding that one confirms the other. Faith and wealth aren't opposites. They're partners on the journey. Purpose is the filter that keeps success from becoming a prison. The next step will be the most transformative of all, teaching others to prosper too. No one is truly rich until they can multiply what they have learned in others. Sharing wisdom is the investment with the highest return in the world. Every lesson taught is a seed planted in another heart, and the fertile soil of abundance responds twice. Napoleon Hill believed this when he wrote "Think and Grow Rich." Knowledge only has power when it is shared. He explains that teaching is the most practical way to strengthen one's own millionaire mentality. When you convey a principle of prosperity, your subconscious understands that value is real and further cements it within you. It's like sharpening a blade. Each time you teach, the edge of understanding becomes more precise. You lose nothing by teaching. You only multiply it. So pass on what you're learning. It could be through honest advice, a video, a book, or even a bar conversation. Wisdom is like a river. If it stops, it rots. If it flows, it enriches everyone. The next level of law of attraction is to be a channel, not a reservoir. Now it's time to bring it all together in one grand revelation. Wealth was never in the bank. It was always in the mind. It is a state of consciousness, a lens that transforms what we have into enough and what we dream of into possible. Napoleon Hill claimed that no one becomes rich. They just awaken to the wealth that already existed. The millionaire mentality begins when scarcity loses its voice. Napoleon Hill explains that the law of attraction doesn't obey despair, but rather the vibration of certainty. That's why calm people attract opportunities easily. They don't chase them. They call them closer. To thrive is to change where you think. It's to move from fear to trust. When someone lives in gratitude, the universe understands that it can now entrust more resources to them. The energy of abundance does not tolerate anxiety. The night's sleep and the awakening of the mind are the same process. Rest for the body, rebirth for the soul. He reminds us that night ritual. It's not just about sleeping well, but about waking up awake. Prosperity begins in the silence between one thought and another. Do you know why so many give up before seeing the miracle? Because they confuse inspiration with discipline. Millionaire mentality does not live on flashes, lives on constancy. Napoleon Hill said that the difference between those who desire and those who achieve is silent persistence. The true prosperity is born on ordinary days, when no one applauds, but you continue to plant the same seeds. He explains that discipline is the link between the invisible and the tangible. It is what transforms prayer into action, law of attraction in results. Without it, everything becomes a nice theory. So, create simple rituals. Wake up with gratitude, review goals, read something uplifting, and before bed, rethink night ritual. These are small repetitions that shape the unconscious until success becomes natural, almost automatic. The secret lies in taking action even when emotion isn't forthcoming. Those who wait for motivation die waiting. Action breeds motivation, not the other way around. When the body obeys, the mind follows. It is this invisible discipline that sustains visible faith. The next step will be the most powerful of all, transforming discipline into a lifestyle and reaping the rewards of consistency. The harvest does not come in haste, but it always comes. It is the law of nature and also the law of abundance. Napoleon Hill taught that the universe rewards continuous and disciplined work, not one day's enthusiasm. The millionaire mentality understands that each coherent action is a drop that carves the stone of reality. At first, it seems like nothing. Then it seems like magic. But it's just constancy. Napoleon Hill teaches that success reveals itself when the invisible begins to manifest in everyday life. An idea appears at the right moment. A person crosses your path. An unexpected opportunity arises. None of this is chance. It's a response. The subconscious and the universe simply return what was planted with faith and patience. Therefore, never interrupt a process that is working just because it hasn't yet blossomed. And when the results finally arrive, the wise man warns, don't relax, expand. Law of attraction is movement, and everything that stops weakens. The secret is to transform success into a new starting point. Celebrate without complacency. Give thanks without stopping. It is in this rhythm of constant flow that prosperity renews itself. And in the next step, I'll show you how gratitude is the fuel that keeps this gear running forever. Those who are grateful keep the channel open. Satra. Gratitude is the language of abundance, and the universe only understands that language. Napoleon Hill. He asserted that a grateful mind vibrates in harmony with the creative forces of the world. While many pray asking, the wise pray in thanksgiving, even for what has not yet arrived. This attitude shifts the energy field and transforms expectation into certainty. Napoleon Hill explains that gratitude isn't a one-time feeling. It's a spiritual discipline. Writing down 3 reasons to be grateful every day is more powerful than repeating, "I want to be rich," 1,000 times. This simple practice realigns the subconscious, reduces fear, and increases faith. Millionaire mentality. It doesn't come from having everything, but from recognizing the value of what you already have. A grateful person always finds more reasons to be thankful. Try being grateful even for challenges. They are disguises for prosperity under construction. Those who respond with gratitude attract solutions instead of problems. Gratitude multiplies what fear would try to divide. That's why, on nights of uncertainty, give thanks before sleeping. And as silence descends, it paves the way for the ultimate lesson, that of transforming one's life into a legacy of faith and wealth. Prosperity that dies with you was never true wealth. The purpose of millionaire mentality is to leave trails of light, something that continues to bless even when the body rests. Napoleon Hill believed that the truly rich man is the one who creates value that lasts. Money passes, but the impact remains, and it is at this point that abundance finds its noblest meaning. Napoleon Hill tells stories of people who used the law of attraction not just to accumulate, but to contribute. Men and women who transformed their blessings into social projects, schools, books, and mentors for new generations. Legacy is not built with grand gestures, but with daily intentions. Each act of generosity is a brick in the temple of eternity. To prosper is to multiply good. Therefore, the wise man concludes by saying, if what you have doesn't improve the world, it's not yet wealth, it's just accumulation. The true millionaire is the one who understands that every gift is a mission. When an individual learns to give joyfully, the universe returns abundantly. The cycle is about to close with a final revelation that changes everything. Everything you have learned so far is a circle, not a line. Napoleon Hill called this the cycle of mental creation: thinking, believing, acting, reaping, and teaching. Whoever understands this movement enters the flow of law of attraction and never again live in scarcity. It's like breathing. Inhaling is faith. Exhaling is action. To thrive is to maintain this rhythm between the visible and the invisible. Napoleon Hill explains that each night of autosuggestion, every prayer and every gesture of gratitude forms a continuous chain that connects mind, spirit, and matter. The millionaire mentality. It is not born of a single moment, but of the sum of 1,000 small conscious acts. The person who learns to master thought learns to command destiny, and with each complete cycle, life reorganizes itself around what was sown with intention. Prosperity is not a reward, it's a consequence. It's the reflection of those who live with purpose, discipline, and faith. When you understand this, anxiety disappears, and in its place comes the serenity of knowing everything is moving in the right direction. The night ceases to be just rest and becomes a portal. And in this portal, the cycle closes, only to begin again, higher. There comes a time when even words get in the way. It is in silence that millionaire mentality is truly formed. Napoleon Hill called this communion with the source. The prosperity. It does not arise in haste, but in the space between one thought and another, when the mind is still enough to hear what the spirit whispers. Silence is the cradle of great ideas. Napoleon Hill explains that those who fear silence fear their own power. People are distracted by noise because they are afraid to hear themselves. But it is in the void that law of attraction gains strength because the vibration is pure there, without interference. Turn everything off for a few minutes when you wake up and before you go to sleep. In these intervals, the universe speaks louder than any notification. This is where the invisible gold is formed. The wise man often says, "Whoever learns to be silent, learns to create." Sir, silence is the bridge between thought and materialization. In this space, autosuggestions strengthens, faith is renewed, and vision expands. It is there that the subconscious receives clear orders and begins to work in secret. As you experience this state of peace, prepare for the final lesson, that of transforming this inner power into light that inspires the world. Prosperity that does not enlighten others is just ego in disguise. Millionaire mentalities, in essence, a lighthouse. Napoleon Hill stated that genuine success always brings others along. The purpose of abundance. It's not just about shining, but about lighting paths for those who still walk in the dark. Wealth is a torch. The more you share it, the brighter the flame becomes. Napoleon Hill, he says, the most successful men he knew had one thing in common. They all served something greater than themselves. Some built schools, others founded purpose-driven businesses, and some simply spread faith with words. The law of attraction responds faster when the goal is collective. The energy of service has a frequency that opens impossible doors because it comes from love. Therefore, he ends the teaching by saying, "True prosperity does not end in the pocket. It ends in the impact." The pinnacle of autosuggestion. It's not about repeating phrases about wealth, but living as if you're already a walking blessing. Those who transform what they earn into light become part of the divine plan. And as the sun rises outside, you've awakened not only to success, but to eternal purpose. There comes a time when you stop seeking and start being. This is the true awakening of millionaire mentality. When the individual realizes that everything he was looking for outside was always inside. Napoleon Hill said that faith, imagination, and decision are the tools that God placed in the human soul to create the impossible. The night ritual, autosuggestion, and law of attraction were just training for that moment. Napoleon Hill explains that the true miracle is when a person stops acting out of necessity and starts acting out of conviction. Nothing is forced anymore. It's natural. Prosperity ceases to be a goal and becomes a state of being. It is consciousness that attracts what is like it. You don't need to chase the light, just stop hiding from it. And in that moment, the secret has always been simplicity. What made you start now makes you a reference. Those who sought wealth discover that they have become the very example of what they sought. Abundance. It doesn't come to those who desire it. It comes to those who embody it. Silence, faith, discipline, and gratitude are now part of it. The end of one path is always the beginning of another. Whoever lives the millionaire mentality understands that there is no full stop, only commas. Napoleon Hill called it continuous evolution, the eternal quest for improvement. The prosperity is not static. It is a constant movement of expansion. The universe rewards those who remain learners, even after they prosper. He explains that each achievement is just a new foundation for learning. Those who stop studying, reflecting, and evolving end up returning to mental scarcity. Therefore, read the same books again. Review your goals. Teach and learn simultaneously. It is in the cycle of receiving and giving that law of attraction strengthens. Abundance loves curious minds, because curiosity is faith in action. The wise man concludes by saying, "Never believe you already know enough, for the universe always has more to reveal." Prospering is not about arriving, but about continuing. Autosuggestion, nighttime now becomes a lifelong habit, a daily reminder that the mind is the greatest asset there is. In the next chapter, awakening will become a living legacy. Knowledge that does not generate movement is dead weight. Everything that has been learned about autosuggestion, law of attraction, abundance, and millionaire mentality only has value if it leaves the paper and enters life. Napoleon Hill stated that faith is only true when it acts. The power is not in knowing the secret, but in practicing it until it becomes part of your daily breathing. Napoleon Hill explains that the difference between those who thrive and those who merely understand lies in decision-making. It's not a special talent, it's a "now is enough." Lay the first brick, even if the project seems overwhelming. The universe loves initiators. Each conscious step activates new, invisible forces, and the path reveals itself as you walk. Prosperity does not come to those who wait, but to those who move in faith. Therefore, the wise man concludes his teaching by saying, "You don't need more signs, you need action." Take this knowledge, apply it today, and watch the change begin. The miracle lies in constant practice, not in beautiful theory. When faith becomes action, the impossible bends. The next success story begins now, with you. True wealth is that which continues to germinate when you are no longer here. Millionaire mentality understands that every thought, word, and action are seeds sown into eternity. Napoleon Hill claimed that ideas are immortal, and that is why those who plant faith and abundance never completely disappears. Its impact resonates with those who saw you act with purpose. He explains that the greatest gift someone can leave is not a financial inheritance, but an example of conscience. The Bible confirms in Proverbs 13:22, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." This inheritance is not just material, it is mental, spiritual, and vibrational. When you live with purpose, every gesture becomes a silent instruction, teaching others to thrive with faith, discipline, and gratitude. Eternity begins in the now. Every time you think with abundance, acts with love, and speaks with truth, the universe writes your name on the walls of time. The night ritual. It's not just a habit. It's a link with the divine, a daily conversation with the Creator about the destiny you are shaping. The end of the journey is, in fact, the beginning of something infinite. The nighttime secret to making money while you sleep. Now you know, while many see the night merely as rest, the wise see it as a fertile field of creation. It is in the silent hours, between one thought and another, that the mind shapes the future. The difference between those who dream and those who prosper lies in how they end the day, with fear or faith, with worry or purpose. But the question is, what will you choose to plant before you close your eyes today? Will you continue feeding your mind with scarcity, or will you give your subconscious new orders to abundance and prosperity? Will you repeat yesterday's pattern, or start writing a new chapter tonight. Napoleon Hill said, "Thought is the starting point of all fortunes." Why? And the Bible completes in Galatians 6:7. Whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. So what will you sow today? Doubt or faith, fear or courage, limitation or purpose? The power is within, waiting for a command. Make your mind your greatest nighttime employee. And when you wake up tomorrow, act with discipline, gratitude, and vision. The universe responds to those who act with faith. If this content spoke to your heart, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell. Because here we continue to dive deep into the mind and faith until prosperity stops being a theory and becomes your new lifestyle.